Hello there, this is Chopperdean, the brightest Yeen you have ever seen. Today what we're going to be doing on HARDSPACE SHIPBREAKER, we're basically going to show you how to top and tail and skin one of these bad boys. Essentially what you need to do, first of all, is assess your ship, enter it quite rigorously, and then what you want to do is clip off these front clippers. If you're aiming at the floor, the nanocarbon floor will not basically break when you're hitting through these bolts. So same with the ceiling as well, it won't do any damage, but and again just crack these four off of here. That's why I'm just taking a tiny bit longer just to line up so I don't do any damage to the other parts of the ship, because I want to get as much salvage off this thing as possible. So line that up, give it a good whack, and there we go, that is that part taken off. Next we want to be taking off the glass front of it. It is worth a tiny bit of salvage, and if you put it in with the processing it will basically add up to a negative. So you want to take that off. It is a pain in the bum to take off, I'm not going to lie, you've got to really kind of get right in there and basically be really precise, or you can just slash at it with your cutting tool and just deal with all the fragments of glass later, which is kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I don't want to do a huge amount of damage to the rest of it, I just want to basically get that glass out, because that's the main fiddly bit of this. The rest of taking the front off this is really easy. You just need to know where to cut, and it does take a bit of fiddling around, but it's not that much of a problem. As I said, this is a very fiddly process, so we're just going to basically try and skim as much off as possible, because you want to have it nice and clean. It's basically like peeling a lobster. You want to have all the nasty bits taken off, and you want it nice and clean and fresh, ready to put in the processor. So there we go, there's glass bits going off there. Because the glass is very thick, because obviously space and reasons, you essentially need to really kind of get the big chunky glass bits out as much as possible. It will take a lot of fiddling around, unless you're very precise, which in this case I am not so much. Yeah, as you can see it's still stuck there, and because it's so thick sometimes it'll look like it's been cut through, but I find the best way to do it is to basically just give it a good kind of double whammy whack, and that'll get the glass out. Now once you've got your glass out, what you want to do is have a bit of a clear up, because you want a nice clean work surface. Well, I say surface, you're in space, but in space no one can hear you, Yeen. Okay, so let's have a quick look and see if there are any bits around the outside of the glass that we want to clear up. Nope, it's all clear, the frame's nice and clear, so we're going to get that and we're going to tag it onto one of these jacks up here, and that will pull that all the way up there and allow us to get in at the sides. Okay, so whilst that's pulling away, let's get that little tiny bit of extra glass out there, and let's have another look around. And what we've got is the insides. Now you can get your cutter blade to do this, because it's pretty much nanocarbon. Nanocarbon doesn't really take that much damage, or any damage really, when you hit it with the blade. So there we go, get that and wallop that into the processor, and we can do the same with the other side. Now these are the really easy bits. I mean, if you fail on this, then yeah, you need to go back to space kindergarten, because to be honest it's just lining stuff up. But here's the trick. Basically there are little kind of barely visible stud lines along here that you can follow, and they're very thin, but if you can grab them, see that tiny bit that's heating up, once that's gone, you've got 4 of them each side. Once you've basically got them done, that's smashing, and the rest of it will all just kind of peel out very quickly. Now at the moment I'm not being hugely precise. The ship is moving a tiny bit because space and like movement and stuff and things, but that will happen. As long as you're not hugely damaging it, it's not too bad, and it's going in a furnace anyway, so who really gives a damn. But we're going to do the same thing over here now. I find the best way to do it is to do the front bits first and leave the like leave the last cut doing this process being basically the one at the bottom closer to the door, and that will basically make everything pop out nice and neatly. So let's just get right in there. Oh, can't really see that well, but the easiest way to basically kind of gauge it is just move your mouse along until you just hit the red, and that's where the bar will be. And now see, 3, 2, 1, and bang, the whole back of that has come out. Now you just want to have a look on the inside of that to see if there's any bits that are left over. I mean, this is like the beginner level Fisher-Price my first ship, so it's not going to have any of the panels or anything like that on it, and we can whack that straight in the furnace and jobs are good. And then all that's left to do with that is basically take out the remaining panels, and I'm just going to do that with tethers. Obviously if you're starting the game you won't have tethers, but it's just, this is just kind of the easy way to do it. I mean, you can move it around, you can move all these plates and that around. Now I'm having a bit of a trouble here doing this. This bottom bit seems to want to be stuck, to be honest. So I'm just going to kind of leave that there, grab this one here. At this moment I'm trying to basically not be a penis and screw it up, but I'm kind of screwing it up in a way, but it's not doing any damage, so that's fine. So those two bits, they're going to be out of there. Let's get them in there, and this can go in there, and that, my friends, that is the top of your ship taken care of. Lovely jubbly, perfect. Don't need to do anything more than that. That's going to go in there, make yourself a nice bit of money. Now if you do not have an engine inside one of these things, you don't need to take the back off. There's no, but you can just take the back off and do it if you want to move it, or if you don't have tethers, you're going to have to do it. But essentially you can just pop inside and take the back bolts off. You'll need to quickly remove this door. That's easy enough to do, just plug that through, that'll just kind of float away into the ether. Again, the same thing, if you aim towards the floor, most of the time if you're hitting nanocarbon it won't do any damage, but as you can see, that top bit of the roof, that's aluminium, so that will do damage if you hit it. So there you go, give it a good boom, and that will move it out of the way, and now you can just get your tether on that, and that's the whole thing. You don't need to take it apart, it's done and dusted, and just grab a couple of tethers, whack it in there. Now obviously if you don't have tethers, you will have to take it apart that little bit more, but it's only a couple of bits and it'll take you a tiny bit longer. But that essentially is it. That's how you top and tail the ship. Now this next bit is easy. Let's get rid of that door into a processor.
Object accepted for processing.
Try and maximise things and get your big old cutlery tool out and just slice through. And there we go, we've got a nice thumbs up from our ship matey cutter me doodle. Cut all the way through this. As I say, the higher levels a ship you're going to have, where I'm cutting at the moment, that's where you would have an airlock. Let's boost that out of the way, tether it in there. Again, you can basically just push it and move it around like I'm doing there, because I don't think I've got any tethers at this point. I'm not narrating this as I'm doing it, I'm going back and doing it afterwards, so I'm trying to do this in a way as I can remember exactly what's going on. But let's go and grab some more tethers, because tethers are fun. I like myself a nice tether. They do help hugely in this game, and to be honest, if you're starting off, don't worry, you will get tethers pretty soon. Now it's not a mod, but I've taken away the whole, for this I've taken away the whole like needing oxygen thing, because I just want to show how to take things apart. Usually I'd be playing a game against the clock, there would be oxygen that is required. But yeah, let's just go in there with our cutting tools, slice away, slice away, slice away, and then get our tethers, whack them in there, and that, my friends, should be that. And that's everything. Now a lot of people liked, oh there you go, got a thumbs up again, but a lot of people like to kind of strap parts to other parts when you're tethering it. I don't really see the point, to be honest. Things will generally go fast if you tether straight to the point you want it to, which is the processing bay. But that's that, and that is how we do it. And all that's left to say is thank you very, very much for watching.